Let's go and join Stuart.
For the Betfred Midlands Grand National of 2016, a field of 18 on the long run to the first, 4 of a kind. On the inner is prominent, with Bob Ford in the striped jacket, Coggery in the red, and Milan's Bar with the green sleeves as they round the first turn, where Cultram Abbey in midfield, orange jacket, was pushed a little wide. And it's Bob Ford who emerges with the overall lead, approaching the first. To Coggery and 4 of a kind, Milan's Bar, Count Guido Dero in a hoop sleeve jacket is tracked out wide by Red Devil Lads as they rise at the opening fence. The leaders handle it safely. Spooky Dookie, though, was a little awkward in the black and yellow and rather blundered his way over the first. Josh Moore was pushed forward in the saddle. So on offence 2 they go. Bob Ford leading them early to Milan's Bar, Count Guido Dero, Coggery, 4 of a kind, the red sleeves and cap, and then Red Devil Lads. Mad Brian in a grey jacket settles in midfield with the likes of No Planning in the nose-banded grey, subtle grey, and then a Golden Chieftain with a yellow sleeve. Shotgun Paddy in the back half of the field, just ahead of Firebird Flower, a black jacket, and 4 of a kind blundered over the third. After that early scare at the first, Spooky Dookie's in the last group of 3. Sizing Cole, green and yellow jacket, might just see the red cap of Jonathan Burke bobbing away on the far side. In the last group of 5 or 6 early on with top weight Catco. Courtown Oscar is just about last the field, preceded by Cultram Abbey. Standing ovation drops in 2/3 of the way back as they cross the fourth, and Red Devil Lads has taken over, jumping fluently. And in rear, both Cultram Abbey and Courtown Oscar were a little ponderous. Descending then from the back straight for the first time, 4 fences behind them, and Red Devil Lads going enthusiastically under Tom O'Brien has established himself some 3 or 4 lengths clear of the early pace setter Bob Ford. And then Milan's Bar in the green and yellow, shadowed by Count Guido Dero. 4 of a kind on the near side from Coggery, the red jacket. No Planning in the stars of light blue and white in mid-division as Red Devil Lads tickles the top of the birch. Mad Brian is tucked away towards the right of the group, now in the hands of Robbie Dunn. Reminder in rear for Cultram Abbey, who hasn't gone with much fluency. Catco and Sizing Cole still waited with as Red Devil Lads crosses the ditch. Watching the rest go over it, and there goes Sizing Cole, red cap, in the last cluster of 4. So the midpoint up the straight first time. Red Devil Lads still going keenly, and if anything is a little further clear of Milan's Bar as they cross the 7th. Bob Ford in the striped jacket landed in 3rd, just ahead of Count Guido Dero, and then Coggery from Mad Brian away to the right, working across to Golden Chieftain, No Planning and Subtle Grey as Red Devil Lads clears the 8th with an ever lengthening lead. Midfield for Firebird Flyer, Shotgun Paddy waited with, so too Spooky Dookie, standing ovation Catco. Sizing Cole's just being chivied into the bridle with 2 circuits ahead of him. He's only got Courtown Oscar and the pushed along Cultram Abbey behind as Red Devil Lads is some 8 to 10 lengths clear, heading off towards the back straight for the second time and on to fence 9. So Red Devil Lads, Tom O'Brien with his healthy advantage, still heading the chase. Milan's Bar, Bob Ford and Count Guido Dero. Coggery, red jacket, will rise in 5th place, hops over neatly from 4 of a kind. Mistake by Courtown Oscar towards the rear of the field. Sizing Cole has just moved past him, and still Cultram Abbey is ridden along last of all. Catco out wide in the headgear, striped sleeves just beginning to pick off 1 or 2 as Red Devil Lads clears the 10th from Milan's Bar and Bob Ford. Count Guido Dero jumping across to his left. The field beginning to string itself out a little more as they reach the midpoint across in the back straight and head on towards fence 11. Red Devil Lads, not particularly fluent but clear of Milan's Bar, who in turn is 5 or 6 lengths ahead. Bob Ford took it in 3rd place, just ahead of Count Guido Dero, and then Coggery with 4 of a kind down the inner. At Red Devil Lads, with the wind at his heels, is now some 15 to 20 lengths clear as he moves on towards fence 12, approaching the halfway point of the Betfred Midlands Grand National. Red Devil's Lad with the springs in his heels, over clear from Milan's Bar. Bob Ford and Count Guido Dero and Coggery, Golden Chieftain in the yellow sleeves, and then 4 of a kind as Red Devil Lads is already freewheeling down the hill and entering the last 2 miles of the race, and now he would be a good 30 lengths clear clear of Milan's Bar, who himself is a good 10 or 12 lengths clear of the pursuers. Bob Ford is still back in the main cluster with Golden Chieftain, and then Count Guido Darrow and Coggery as Red Devil Lad steps out over the 13th with this still long lead. Sizing Cole second from the left. Red Cap is still towards the rear. Mad Brian in the grey jacket has been angled off the inner. He's begun to pick off one or two of them. Red Devil Lads is over the ditch quickly, if not especially fluently. Milan's Bar hops over now in second. Count Guido Darrow disputing third with Bob Ford. Then Mad Brian, who's improved to go into fifth ahead of Coggery. There's almost a fence between first and last. Cultram Abbey's toiling out the back still. Standing ovation, Courtown Oscar in rear with Spooky Dookie. Four of a Kind has lost ground, so too has No Planning. Catco second from the left is into midfield ahead of Shotgun Paddy. But Red Devil Lads is out over the 16th, a long way clear with a circuit to go in the Midlands Grand National. Red Devil Lads and Tom O'Brien more than 30 lengths ahead of Milan's Bar in second. He in turn is 20 clear of Bob Ford in third, then Mad Brian and Coggery, Golden Chieftain, Count Guido Darrow. Firebird Flyer from Catco and Subtle Grey, Spooky Dookie, No Planning. Sizing Cole, Standing Ovation, Four of a Kind, Courtown Oscar, Shotgun Paddy and Cultram Abbey's been pulled up with a circuit to go. So in a race vaguely reminiscent of the 1973 Grand National, Red Devil Lads, almost crisp-like, is over the first in the back straight, shaken up for the first time. 30 lengths clear of Milan's Bar, who's 20 lengths clear of the chasers as they go on towards the next over on the far side. Mad Brian is in third. Golden Chieftain, the yellow sleeves, is in fourth, and then Coggery and Count Guido Darrow. Catco, now in the hands of Conor O'Farrell, is picking them off with Firebird Flyer. Sizing Cole is still yet to make much of impression. He's got plenty on from there as Red Devil Lads is now seeing his lead reduced and reduced quickly, and Milan's Bar is closing him down as they move on towards fence 19. Red Devil Lads, his moment of glory in the Midlands National is virtually over, and Milan's Bar is moving through now to come at his quarters. Mad Brian is in third, then Golden Chieftain, Coggery Red Jacket, Catco, far side the grey, Subtle Grey, Firebird Flyer in the noseband, then No Planning. Count Guido Darrow in the hoops is losing ground. Sizing Cole, Red Cap has got himself in touch. Red Devil Lads now being pulled up quickly, having been headed. Milan's Bar in turn has been headed, and Mad Brian has jumped through to take over as they take five out. Milan's Bar back at his quarters. Catco in third. Subtle Grey around the outside of Golden Chieftain. Spooky Dookie in a black and yellow jacket, and then Coggery, Firebird Flyer, 2 lengths to No Planning, and a gap to Sizing Cole, who's still being ridden along, and they swing for home with half a mile to travel and 4 more left to jump. Mad Brian, Catco though away to the left, launching his challenge under his welter burden of 11-12. Milan's Bar, the green sleeves. Golden Chieftain in behind him with Spooky Dookie, Coggery. Firebird Flyer in the noseband trying to get on terms, then No Planning and Subtle Grey. Still 3 to jump, the open ditch coming up to them. Milan's Bar having another crack at Mad Brian. Golden Chieftain joining in, and he jumps to the front. Mad Brian makes a mistake. Error from No Planning. Milan's Bar driven, trying to get back on terms. Catco was pulled up quickly. Spooky Dookie away to the left. Firebird Flyer in the noseband. The Welsh national runner-up now comes to have a say. At the second last, Golden Chieftain for the Colin Tizard team. 3 lengths clear on the run down towards the last. From Firebird Flyer, Milan's Bar, Coggery, Spooky Dookie at the 1 pace, and No Planning. Golden Chieftain at the final fence, plows through it, and he's down with the race at his mercy. Oh, how the gods have frowned on Colin Tizard in the last 24 hours. Firebird Flyer is left clear. Milan's Bar is raising an effort, getting closer to him, but it's Firebird Flyer with luck on his side who wins the Betfred Midlands Grand National. Milan's Bar second, Coggery third, Spooky Dookie in fourth. No Planning last of 5 to get round. Golden Chieftain on his feet, and so too Brendan Powell.